everyone, welcome to our podcast. I'm Emma.
And I'm Max. We're so happy you're here with us today.
Today, we're talking about a big challenge for many people, learning English when you have a busy schedule. Max, so many people tell me, I don't have time to learn English. My day is full of work, school, or family responsibilities.
That's true. Emma, life gets busy and finding time can feel impossible. But the good news is you can learn English even with a tight schedule. You just need the right tips and a little creativity.
Exactly. So let's get started. If you're listening and thinking, I don't have hours to study, don't worry. One great way to learn is to make English a part of your daily life. Max, do you know what I mean?
Yes, for example, if you listen to music, why not listen to songs in English? Pick your favorite artist or band that sings in English. You can enjoy the music while learning new words.
I love that idea. And don't just listen, try to sing along. It helps with pronunciation and makes you feel more confident.
Another tip is to change your phone's language to English. This is a small change, but it makes a big difference. Every time you check your phone, you'll see words and phrases in English.
That's such a clever idea. You're using something you already do, like checking messages or scrolling social media, but now it's helping you practice English.
Right, and speaking of social media, follow accounts that teach English. There are so many fun videos, posts, and even memes in English.
That's true. You can learn phrases or idioms while enjoying funny or interesting content. It doesn't even feel like studying.
Absolutely, and here's another idea: use small pockets of time. For example, if you're waiting for a bus or sitting in a doctor's office, you can open an English app or read an article in English.
Yes, even just 5 minutes here and there can add up. Max, do you have a favorite app for learning English?
I like apps that focus on vocabulary, like flashcards. They're great because you can learn words in just a few minutes. What about you, Emma?
I love listening to podcasts, like this one. Podcasts are perfect because you can listen while you're driving, cooking, or exercising. It's like learning English without even trying.
Podcasts are so useful, and don't forget about audiobooks. If you enjoy stories, you can listen to books in English. Start with simple books if you're a beginner.
That's such a great idea. And here's something else. Talk to yourself in English.
Talk to yourself. Emma, that sounds funny.
It does sound funny, but it works. For example, when you're making coffee, say, I'm making coffee. Or when you're getting ready, say, I'm putting on my shoes. It helps you think in English.
That's so smart. You don't need anyone else, and you can practice anytime.
Exactly. And if you do have people around, even better. If you have a friend or family member who speaks English, try speaking with them for a few minutes every day.
Yes, even a little conversation helps. If you don't have anyone to talk to, you can join online groups or language exchange programs. There are so many friendly people who want to practice English together.
I love that idea. You make new friends and you practice your English.
Emma, there's another thing I always tell busy learners: don't be too hard on yourself. Learning English takes time, and it's okay if you can only do a little bit each day.
That's such good advice. Even small steps are steps forward. So celebrate your progress, no matter how small it feels.
Absolutely. Learning English is a journey, not a race. Just keep going.
Let's keep going. We were talking about how you can learn English even if your schedule is packed. I know it might seem tough, but remember, you don't need hours and hours every day. Even short moments can make a big difference.
That's so true, Emma, and you know what? One of the easiest ways to practice English is by focusing on things you already do. For example, if you watch TV or movies, try watching them in English.
Oh, yes, watching movies or shows in English is a great way to learn. And don't worry if you don't understand every word. Start by using subtitles. You can read along while you listen.
Exactly, and over time, you can try watching without subtitles or using English subtitles instead of your native language. It's a fun way to improve listening skills and learn how people really talk.
I love doing that, and sometimes I like to pause and repeat what the actors say. It's like practicing pronunciation with a teacher, but it's a movie.
That's a great tip, Emma, and speaking of pronunciation, have you tried using a voice recorder?
A voice recorder. Tell me more, Max.
Well, you can record yourself speaking in English. Maybe you can read a short paragraph or just talk about your day. Then listen to your recording. You'll notice how you sound and where you can improve.
Oh, I like that. It's like being your own teacher. And you don't need special equipment. Your phone probably already has a recording app.
Exactly, and if you're feeling really brave, you can send your recording to a friend or teacher for feedback.
Exactly. And if you're feeling really brave, you can send your recording to a friend or teacher for feedback.
Label things. How does that work?
Well, you write the English word for an object, like mirror, table, or fridge, on a small piece of paper and stick it to the object. Every time you see it, you'll learn the word.
That's so creative. It's like your house becomes your classroom.
Exactly. And after a few days, try to remember the words without looking at the labels. It's a fun challenge.
I love it. And while we're talking about daily activities, let's not forget about cooking.
Cooking. How can cooking help with English?
Oh, it's a great way to learn. Look up recipes in English. Follow the instructions and learn words like mix, stir, chop, and bake.
That's a wonderful idea, and it's so practical. You're not just learning, you're also making delicious food.
Exactly, and here's another thing, write in English every day. It doesn't have to be long, maybe just a sentence or two about your day.
Like a diary.
Yes, like a diary. You can write about what you did, what you ate, or even what you're thinking. The key is to write something regularly.
That's so helpful. And don't worry about making mistakes, just write. Over time, you'll see your writing improve.
Definitely, and if you want to practice speaking, try reading your diary out loud. It's a great way to practice pronunciation and fluency.
Oh, I love that. And Max, do you know what else is super helpful? Setting small, specific goals.
That's a great idea. Can you give an example?
Sure, instead of saying, I want to learn English, say, I want to learn 5 new words this week, or I want to listen to a 10-minute podcast in English every day.
That's so smart. Small goals are easier to achieve and they keep you motivated.
Exactly. And when you reach your goal, celebrate. Maybe treat yourself to something nice or just feel proud of what you've done.
That's important. Learning English is hard work, and you should feel good about every step you take.
Absolutely. And let's talk about one more thing, multitasking.
Multitasking, like doing two things at once.
Yes, for example, if you're cleaning the house, listen to an English podcast or audiobook. If you're driving, play an English lesson in the car.
That's brilliant. You're using time that might feel wasted and turning it into learning time.
Exactly. And it doesn't feel like extra work because you're doing something you'd be doing anyway.
That's so helpful. And remember, everyone, don't stress about being perfect. It's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are how we learn.
Yes, the most important thing is to keep going. Little by little, you'll see progress.
Let's dive back in. We've been talking about ways to learn English when life is super busy. And you know, Emma, one thing I think people often forget is how important it is to stay consistent. Even if you only have a little time each day, using it well can lead to big improvements.
That's so true, Max. Consistency is key. It's not about doing everything all at once. It's about doing small things every day.
Exactly, and you know what really helps with consistency. Creating a routine, for example, you can set aside 5 minutes in the morning to review vocabulary or 10 minutes before bed to listen to a podcast.
I love that idea. a routine makes it easier to stick with learning. And over time, it just becomes a natural part of your day.
Right, and speaking of routines, let's talk about using mornings for learning. Mornings can be great because your mind is fresh and you haven't been distracted by the day yet.
That's true. Even if you just read a short article in English while having your morning coffee, it sets the tone for the rest of the day.
Yes, and in the evening, you can do something lighter like watching a show or reviewing what you learned earlier.
That's such a good balance. And for people who feel like they have no free time, remember learning doesn't have to be formal. It can happen anywhere.
Exactly. For example, if you're commuting, listen to English lessons or songs. If you're shopping, try to think in English about what you're buying.
Yes, like saying, I need apples, I want bread. It might feel simple, but it's great practice.
Absolutely. And another fun thing you can do is use English with technology. Emma, have you ever tried asking your virtual assistant like Siri or Alexa something in English?
Oh, yes, it's so fun and helpful. You can ask simple things like, what's the weather today? Or play relaxing music.
That's a great way to practice speaking and listening. And it's low pressure because it's just you and your device.
Exactly. And let's not forget about keeping a positive mindset. Learning English takes time, and it's easy to feel frustrated. But if you stay patient and focus on the progress you're making, it becomes more enjoyable.
That's so important. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at their own pace. Celebrate your successes, no matter how small.
Yes, like learning a new word or understanding a short sentence, those are big wins.
They really are, and here's another tip: mix things up. If you're getting bored with one method, try something new.
That's a great point. For example, if you usually study with books, try watching YouTube videos. Or if you listen to podcasts, try joining a language group online.
Exactly. Variety keeps things interesting and helps you learn in different ways.
And let's not forget about setting rewards. Max, do you ever reward yourself for learning something new?
Oh, definitely. If I reach a goal, like learning 20 new words, I treat myself maybe with a nice coffee or watching a favorite movie.
I do that too. It's a great way to stay motivated. Learning English should feel exciting, not like a chore.
Right, and here's one final tip I think is super powerful. Reflect on why you're learning English.
Oh, that's a big one. Your why is like your fuel, it keeps you going.
Exactly. Maybe you want to travel, get a better job, or talk to new people. Whatever your reason, keep it in mind.
Yes, and remind yourself of that reason when you feel tired or stuck. It can help you push through.
Definitely, and remember, everyone, learning English isn't just about studying, it's about growing and connecting.
That's so true. And no matter how busy you are, with small steps, you can make progress.
Absolutely, and that brings us to the end of today's podcast.
Yes, we hope these tips inspire you to keep learning English, even with a busy schedule.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to our channel and share it with your family and friends.
Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Everyone, keep learning and having fun.